Good morning, Dennis Burns, Fire Behavior Analyst for California Interagency Incident Management Team 2 with your McKinney Fire Update for August 7th. So a little bit about what went on yesterday. We had a really good day, starting up here in Branch 1, kind of this northeast corner. Crews have gotten in there, and we've got everything lined in this area. We got hose in place, and crews are just seeking and destroying any hot spots near the lines. That's pretty much the same story going all the way in to Branch 5, which is the south end of the fire. I think Fort Jones down here. Moving up into Branch 10 in this southwest corner. Yesterday I talked about we were hoping that the fire would kind of back into here. Yesterday morning, the line overhead kind of looked at it, and the hotshot crews said, we think we can go pick some of this up direct. So they are actually conducting direct handline construction across this. This is a flat map. It doesn't really give you the impression, but this is super steep ground, but they are going direct on it. They have had some rollout behind them, so it's a pretty slow process, but the hope is by the end of business today that they'll have this line tied in, and then which will alleviate us having to try and burn this out in here. Coming up into Division Delta, Highway 96 kind of runs along here. The school is right over in here off of Walker Road. This piece of the fire, it's all backed in last night. And now it's just all we have to do is mop up all that hot spot. So that's the plan for today, is get in there and start eliminating those sources of heat. Coming up along the top, you'll notice there's a little bit more containment on the line. I believe we're at 40% now. Pretty much the same story going all the way through Division Papa, Pipeline Gap up in here. They're just in there mopping all that up. The hope is today that this will all be mopped in and completed. This is the 1,000-acre spot fire that's been there. River corridor's looking good. Our Achilles heel is still here in Division Tango, going up from the river up to the mountaintop, and I'll get into that here in a second. We put another hot shot crew in this area, have about a mile of hand line to construct. Again, it's super steep ground. We had some rollout last night. Crews are getting around that. But the big story for today, and actually tomorrow and possibly into Tuesday, is we have a red flag warning out for not only winds and low relative humidity, but extremely unstable conditions in the atmosphere, which means anything that gets across our lines is going to grow rapidly. We're not anticipating any forward movement on the fire, but unfortunately we have some unburned islands and then some areas with not complete burn with heat in it. So anything within the interior that would be able to gain any momentum has the potential to throw spot fires out over our lines. The winds are going to be coming out of the southwest, kind of in this alignment. So the areas that we're concerned about are Division Tango and Division Papa. Excuse me. Because what the fire could do is, first it would go from a wind-driven fire, which is actually pretty difficult to keep up with, and then it could transition with the instability to what we call plume-dominated fire, and that's where the fire is actually controlling the environment around it. A couple of the unfortunate things about that is with the wind, especially if it gets up over 25 miles an hour, we're actually not able to use aircraft sometimes because it's just not effective, especially helicopters. The water that they drop out of the buckets gets spread by the wind. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. We're hoping everything stays within the lines. The crews have been briefed really well on that. They're trying to identify any of those sources of heat that are interior that could potentially challenge our lines and get after them as soon as possible. The good thing about the red flag warning with these wind event that we're looking at is they're short term, basically from about 2 in the afternoon to just after sundown. So it's not a long-term event like you would see a Santa Ana fire or something like that down in Southern California. So that's your update for August 7th, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.